hear James Cameron is going to do a new documentary about the Bismarck. You know anything about it?
Do I know anything about it? In World War II, the Bismarck sank the Hood, and my wife's brother was killed on it. Actually, only 3 people survived the Hood.
What happened? Was the Hood outgunned?
No, the Hood was the best battleship that England had, and it was out looking for the Bismarck and wanted to engage it. In fact, the Hood was called the Unsinkable. There was only a lucky shot to the magazine that made her go down.
Unsinkable, that's what they said about the Titanic.
Every ship that's been called the Unsinkable has sunk.
The Shane man's brother had to be assigned to the Hood.
Actually, he wasn't. He missed the ship that he was assigned to, and as fate would have it, he was reassigned to the Hood.
Don't say any more till I get my laptop. I have to get all this down. I think this will make a great movie. I'll need all the insight you can give me from a personal viewpoint. What was Anne's brother's name?
Robert Watson.
I'm going to make a movie about the Hood and Robert Watson.
Yeah, right, Trevor. Go ahead and make the movie.
I will. Will you help me with it?
Yeah, right, Trevor. I'll help you. I'll even be in it.
I'm holding you to that. Hello, my name is Trevor Lacus, and I was the writer and director, and I also play Charlie on the HMS Hood. I'd like to welcome you to the making of the HMS Hood documentary, which chronicles the incredible 3-year journey that me and my friends went on to bring the HMS Hood to life. So I hope you enjoy the film and this documentary, and enjoy the inside look into the making of this film. Thank you. When I began researching about the HMS Hood, I discovered a website that was actually devoted entirely to the Hood. It was www.hmshood.com, and it was called the HMS Hood Association. There is where I learned the majority of the stuff that you see in the film that deals with the ship itself, from the actual destruction and the salvo that hit from the Bismarck. I learned from this site. Also, the men, the captain, the vice admiral, all these additional men that were on the ship I learned about through this website. And I encourage many people to go and to check out the website, and because it's filled with information that you can find about the Hood. But that is where truly my research began, and I was in discussion with a man from there named Frank Allen, who was a great help, and telling me about the sleeping quarters, the bridge, what happened, what in my script was correct, what was wrong. And through his help, I really think that the story was improved, much so because of him. And I also gained some knowledge from Ken about Bobby and how he got on the Hood and everything like that. And well, you guys know the story if you've watched the film already, but if not, I'll have to tell you about it, of course. And now we're going to get into everything else, I guess. Alright, enjoy.
I'm Bill Lane, and I played a couple of the different crewmen on the boat and just various background characters.
My name is Adam Blackburn, and I played Robert Watson, which is the main character, if you want to call him that.
My name's Eleanor McVeigh, and I played Kathleen.
My name is Ken Morrow, and I play Vice Admiral Holland.
My name is Trevor Lacus, and I had many jobs on the project. It started as the writer, and I'm the writer and director, editor, sound guy, music guy. I'm the funder of the project. My friend Bill's also the music guy. I'm director of photography, a cameraman. You name it, on the crew, I've done it. The character, or characters I play in the movie, is the one main character I have is Charlie, who becomes Bobby's friend on the ship. I also play, uncredited, a British designer in 1917, along with Kyle Visser, who also plays Andrew in the film. I play a German. Captain, Captain Lindman, and I also play two characters in the exact same scene at the dock when Bobby is told the Drake has left and has to board the Hood.
I play Andrew, who is a friend of Bobby. We go to the enlisting office to enlist into the war, and I inadvertently tell Jimmy the waiter at the ice cream parlor that Bobby is enlisting into the war, which in turn he tells his girlfriend Kathleen, Bobby's girlfriend Kathleen, that he's enlisting and Bobby wanted to tell her himself instead of finding out the way she did.
I play Bobby's girlfriend. I guess I'm just to move the plot. I don't know.
My character's importance, it perhaps has the biggest importance in the film next to Bobby. My character is basically the narrator of the entire film, and his job is to let the audience know what is happening during those times, and he gives it through voiceovers. He's the one that survives. He is essentially the storyteller to the entire event. He knows what happened and he can retell it, and that's why I chose that character for myself mainly, and plus I couldn't find anyone else to play it. He's actually a fictitious character based around the three real survivors, so I took a bit from each man and put it together to create Charlie.
Well, he is the main character, and he's like the guy that you follow throughout the whole movie, and he's like the doomed character, and you know it, and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so pretty much he's the main character. That's his importance.
Vice Admiral Holland's decision during the battle led to the sinking of the Hood. I didn't take him serious at first, and I went along with it so that just to get him off my back.
Meh, it's another one of Trevor's crack pond ideas. No, I'm joking. It's another one of Trevor's ideas. Give him all the support he can get, right?
That was a good time. I was having trouble trying to even stay in that class. Like, it was like my first day there, and he's like started talking about the full-on project that we're going to be doing in the end, just like to get us hyped about the course, right? And I'm having conflicts with Miss Romans while he's talking about the project. I'm getting pulled outside, and she's getting all sarcastic with me. We never had a good thing with that, but yeah. So he told us about the project, and then I remember you coming up, and he's like, "Oh, Adam, I've got this. It's a great idea. I want you to hear it. Like, you know, it's a good idea for our last project." So we go up to the stage, and Brad's thinking about what he wants to do. He's telling me he wants to do something too. So you're talking to me, and he's like, "Brad, come here, come here." And we're on the stage, and you're like, you told us the scene with the dock, and like you're talking about how there's going to be this big sign, there's going to be like a massive ship and like all the water, and you just threw it out to us and stuff.
I figured it would be just the same as all of his other projects and end up getting halfway done and then ending there.
So you kind of vision us, if you will, on your epic idea with like the dock scene and the ship and stuff like that. And I thought it was an awesome idea right from it. Brad was all about like, he's like, I don't know, I think I want to do this instead. I want to do something else. And he's like, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think I want to be part of it. He ended up being in it for a while, and then he just kind of switched around and whatever. He did his own thing, but I was in for it. I liked it a lot.
I felt it as kind of a new experience for me. So it gives me something new to see what it's like for acting and just trying a student film, so something like that.
He's a friend. It's kind of what friends do, help them out, even no matter how eccentric they may be.
I guess Trevor's my best friend. I always help him with all of his movies, whether they're half-baked ideas or not.
Actually, I don't think there's an answer to that question. I think it just happened, and I'm glad that it happened. That's it.
And action. 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 Action.
I think the most difficult part of the film would have to be getting everybody together at once, because it was hard to get everybody together for time, and they didn't really want to do this and that, and they got fed up with it. But we had to do it. We wanted to help them finish this, and we did.
Honestly, truly, dealing with the director. he brought up the most challenging things I can ever think of when it came to that movie. Like, that's it, I don't care anymore, I'm dropping this movie. Trevor, you can't do that. I guess, but though, really, besides him, though, he was a bit difficult some days to work with. He wasn't the most difficult thing for the movie, but what was trying to find a set for the ship.
When we were out in the water, I got violently seasick. Trying to act while I was seasick, that was difficult.
The most difficult part was getting to people to cooperate, and finding a ship to even film on was perhaps the toughest thing that I encountered throughout it. But thank you to Mr. McInerney and his father-in-law and Port Weller Dry Docks, we managed to get on it. And another big thing would be just trying to get it done and everything done.
Trying to find places to actually film a lot of the stuff. And just getting people organized, getting places organized.
The most difficult part. Yeah, like I would have to say the length of time involved between the shooting and all the setup and all the uncertainty involved with, like, if we're going to get it done, when we're going to get it done, when we're going to get this, like, finished, and, like, every aspect was, like, new every day. There was something else that we had to, like, overcome. Plus all the people, like, we always had to get, like, people to come. We'd always be, like, skipping out. I wouldn't show up, and Visser wouldn't show up, or he couldn't because of classes or something like that. All the setbacks with, like, scheduling and, you know.
Most difficult part for me would have to be just trying to get into character and trying to memorize my lines, which was the hardest thing I had to do. I'm not good at memorizing stuff.
Trying to run like a girl. Honestly, truly.
For me, the most difficult part would have to be is I had so many jobs, I had so many things to do at once. Not only in scenes on the ship was I directing, trying to do the camera, and acting all in the same scene. It became difficult. I had a cameraman working the camera, but I had to essentially be the camera's eyes without looking behind it, looking through the camera. So that became really difficult. And the running back and forth throughout filming to check how the bridge shots were running, and I put a lot of trust into to Anthony Savoya to make sure that that ran smoothly and every shot got made and was successfully done.
I don't know, probably just sticking with Trevor is pretty difficult because he's all over the place, and just trying to help him the most was pretty difficult.
What about your lines?
Yeah, they were pretty difficult too.
I'd say the length still, there was like an insane amount of like time between all the shooting and all that, and it was kind of hard. Like you couldn't stay in character very well, and like hard to remember, and there was lots of script changes. Another one would be really good is like acting in certain scenes, like with Ellie. Like I'm not saying I don't like Ellie or anything, but I mean, like I'm not, like I'm a pretty shy guy kind of thing, and so I'm not very good at like the intimate scenes because, you know, we were obviously, Ellie was my girlfriend in the film, so it was kind of hard for me to do those scenes.
Well, that's an interesting little story. See, the thing is, I was looking for Adam, and just I don't know what for. I was looking for him, and I was told by Mr. Risdale he was upstairs. So I go upstairs, and sure enough, they were filming a little movie. I didn't know what it was at the time. So I go in there, and Trevor asked me if I'd like to be an extra, just sit in the background and sit in the back in the movie theater and do whatever. I'm like, okay, sure, that's no problem. So then next day, he asked me to come back next day. I'm like, okay. So I come back next day, and he asked me if I could do an English accent. So I gave him my best. So I gave him what I thought was my best English accent, and then he's like, "Wow, that's wonderful." And then from that point on, I was pretty much in the movie.
In October 2002, we went back to shooting on the Hood. After the summer break and attempts to find a ship failed, we moved on and started reshooting the entire movie from scratch, basically.
Some days I was like, yeah, whatever, I think. Well, actually, a lot of the times when I blew you off, I was like, I don't want to do this. There's no point to it. But like I said, as things went on, I realized the importance that you had with it, and I also realized the importance, like, scholastically for, like, a good mark in the end of our project, right? Obviously, near the end, it wasn't really about the project, but I guess it was for a good mark in school, and because, you know, it was important to you, so I wanted to do a good job.
Yeah, I know I'd stick with it just because I always stick with Trevor in his films.
I had no choice. I had too many people breathing down my neck to tell me that you better finish this project. So yeah.
After truffle incidences, runs to the lumber yard, sets being burnt down by cans of whipped cream, and everything that's gone on for that movie, every single problem from yellow duct tape to not having a ship. No. Kudos to Trevor for doing it, though.
Honestly, I didn't think I would get this far. I had a lot of help, and I had a lot of people encouraging me to get it done. And once I really reached the point where I was filming on that ship, I knew that I was going to finish it no matter what, no matter how long it would take me. And now it's, as of this month, as of July, it is 3 years from the beginning.
For the most part, yes. And at one point I thought, you know, it's not really going that great and things aren't really going that great, but I was amazed with the results.
I didn't even think it was going to get started, let alone finished.
Yes. Because if that movie was not finished, it was going to be Trevor's head on a plate.
I had my doubts, certain times, you know. Earlier on, especially, I had pretty good doubts, but as it went on, I mean, as like I noticed everyone's commitment, or especially yours, I mean, I was like, okay, well, this is not going to get done. So, and that's why you'll notice that we get better in the film, in later scenes, like the ones that we shot later on. I think we had like we were more into it, we were like full on with it, so I think our scenes went a lot better that way too. So
When I set foot on the ship, then I knew we had a movie.
Honestly, I hoped it would, but I never figured it actually would be because Trevor's got a track record of not managing to finish movies. Starting with stuff like Psychotic Little Man.
Which we won't talk about. Ellie, it is like 10 o'clock at night and Ellie has just gone into this Prince of Wales hotel to find out if we can film inside. This is it right there. This is crazy. We've gone really far. We're doing good. I'm tired. This is the farthest we've gone to get a shot. Exactly.
it's gonna be a waste
Except
of time.
for the ship.
They're
It's
gonna
not be a
say
waste
no,
of time.
man. They're
Alright,
gonna
cut
say
it.
no.
From January all the way up to the shooting day on July 6th aboard the ship, I was preparing for that day. Shot lists were made up and everything was ready to go. The hardest thing was communicating back and forth with Port Waller Dry Docks to get an official date for filming because their schedule was always changing. July 6th was the only day that everyone was actually available to shoot the film, and luckily for us, that was the last day that the dry docks could manage to offer us because work on the ship had to be completed for its August departure.
Captain, we've been hit near the main mast and there's fire in the ready-use lockers!
Boris, what are you doing there? Igor! Smart enough.
I don't know where I'm going.
Well, screw you then. I hate this man.
I think you know what you want, and you really, really, really press that you want something, and that's what I'm talking about with patience. But at the same time, that's what made the movie what it is, because of you and your commitment to getting exactly what you want. Kind of like Keanu Reeves and his acting. That's a little bit of a joke.
He's no Steven Spielberg yet, but he's on his way.
allowed to say that on the tape? No. He was a good director, a bit bossy at times, a bit pushy, but I guess that's how he is. He wants it the way he wants it, and that's his vision. That's how he wants it done.
God damn it, I'm going to kill Trevor after this.
Trevor is not a bad director. In fact, he's a very good director. He tends to wear too many hats. I think he should delegate a little duty to other people, but that will come in time.
Ah! There's a dead man walking.
Where to begin? Excuse me while I get comfortable. Okay. First things first. Trevor can be one of the nicest egomaniacs I've ever met. Okay? Kid's a sweetheart, but my God, when he gets into that air of director and role of director, there's no stopping him. Secondly, he's good at what he does, which is why he does it and I don't. Okay? He's got the talent for directing. He really does. It's that eye for detail.
No. Yeah, I'd work with him again if he's more lenient on time and nicer.
Of course.
Why?
Because I own money for my computer still. I don't have any other friends that would lend me large sums of money to get a computer or anything else for that matter.
Oh yeah, I'd work with you, no problem. We're cool.
Which part was my favorite scene is probably one of the best questions you could ask me, because it's, for one, it's my movie, so therefore everything's pretty much my favorite, but perhaps it's not really a favorite scene, it was a favorite moment that never actually went into the film. And it involves the guy who plays the father, Steve Fraser, and he was on the battleship, and I was coming down one hallway, and he was coming down another, and all I heard was clunk! Oh! He smacked his head off an air vent.
Are you okay?
Perhaps that was the funniest part, but my favorite scene would have to be the ones involving Bobby and Andrew, because they actually, Adam and Kyle worked very well together, and they put on a good performance together. Also, myself and Adam, we needed some work, yes, but we were in a rush that day, and actually, for the time that we had, we did a good job together. But my favorite scene is the last scene where it's got that choir-type voice to it, and it's the last scene on the ship when the shell hits and it explodes. That's my favorite scene. It's really powerful to me.
I think we all know the answer to that one. Filming at 11 o'clock down in Niagara-on-the-Lake, and me freaking out on Adam Blackburn's character, Bobby. Pretty much, what? You didn't want to tell me that you would join the army? Yeah, that was the best part of it all. Pardon?
The Navy.
Oh, that. In the Navy. No.
Not the Army.
Also there was Steve. You've got Navy in the morning. Oh, and then there's always shooting Steve walking down the hall, turns the corner, clunk. Cut! Are you okay? As he ramps his head into one of the air ducts. Cut! Are you okay?
Oh, the favorite scene? I think all of my scenes with Visser were my favorite scenes. I enjoyed acting with Visser so much. So it was so flowing and stuff. Like the walking in the train track scenes and stuff. I love those. They were so much fun. Just the kidding around and stuff.
I don't know. Probably just any of the scenes on the ship, because it was a great time just being on the high to film the various different shots.
I have to say that this has improved me not only as a director, as a writer, as an actor, but as a person. It has improved my communication skills with people, and this is something most people at my age would never experience. I got to film aboard a real battleship. Mind you, it's out of commission now, but I got to film aboard a real battleship I got to film in all these places, I got to work with great people, and I got to do something I loved, which is make movies. And it was one heck of a learning experience. Because of this, I have learned so much. The amount of stuff that I have learned during the making of this movie could not compare to even some of the stuff I'm currently learning in college. It's just, you learn more by doing. And this film, I did a lot. And it's going to help me, I think, in future projects.
I enjoyed working with the people, meeting new people, and seeing, and just I liked the idea of working with trying to do a student film. It was something new, something fun, and I'll do it again if I get the chance.
I don't want to be a director. He just has way too much to deal with. I'll rather do like run around, be the gopher. I'm not the director.
I learned a lot about patience. Patience, definitely, from like the director and from the cast and the crew. I mean, like, you have to work with people, and it's like, you know, I'm not saying I'm awesome or anything, but like, you know, everybody clashes sometimes, like, and some of us, we didn't like know each other very well, so you know, it was like back and forth, and there were hot days, long days, like the ship scenes were ridiculously hot, you know, nerves were frayed, but we did a good job.
Okay.
But the lock-in point was probably, is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, the lock-in point was definitely just, we had done it for so long, there was no reason not to finish it.
It's definitely been an interesting little journey. One that I would repeat again, but don't want to do again anytime soon.
I'm picking my words very carefully. From this film and later projects, well, this one just gave me a headache. The next ones will probably give me a migraine because they're going to be more in-depth and a little more particular. But other than that, I have high expectations for them, especially for the director, because if he doesn't get them done, my God, I'm going to be after him.
I think this film was like an eye-opener, and it was like a catalyst to what is going to be later. Like, I mean, it's proof of your capability, especially, and it like, you know, it shows prospects for who's going to be, like, if it's like people were into acting, like whoever was like in the cast. I don't know how many people were actually planning on being actors. Like, I don't think I was, but I mean, like, it just, you know, it shows our potential, like, by going through it. You learn a lot about responsibility, about commitment, about punctuality, you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a serious thing to do. So there's a lot of skills you have to like figure out and learn. And acting was hard. I mean, I guess that would be the main point. Yeah, it's hard stuff.
Hopefully, the sky is the limit.
You know, I don't really know what's going to become of this film. I hope that these DVDs sell. I hope they do really well, because we want to budget a new film, and even looking into a new camera of some sort. Panasonic's developed one that records at 24 frames per second. I'd really like to look into that. Later projects, I just hope that the same people come back and work with me. I really enjoyed my time, and I just hope that everything goes well with later projects, and we'll see what happens.